We won't delay too much longer. I got another chat. Let's see. Yes, I can see the screen. Great, 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 great. Okay, so good. So then we're in the money. So we're gonna go ahead and get started because we want to start on time. Really quickly, I'll go over a couple of housekeeping rules, which basically are just make sure your phones are on mute. Excuse me, not your phones. Your screen is on mute, and you can do that by clicking that arrow button at the bottom and just clicking on mute as it relates to audio, right? And just make sure everyone is on mute, okay? If you have questions, again, you can always just inbox me and I will definitely kind of stop throughout. This is not a very formal training. This is very me sharing knowledge and information, blah, blah, blah. It's not something so formal where I can't stop and chat with you, okay? So if you have any questions in the midst of me doing this training, just make sure you let me know, okay? All right, so let's get to it. All right, so, okay, we got another person chatting. Let's see here real quick. Okay, hey, okay, awesome. No problem, get to. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so again, I am Monique Davis, and I'm so appreciative of you guys for coming on time. I like to get started on time. I do record this, so just in case I have, because I had quite a few people that register, so just in case I have some individuals that come in late and miss some things, hey, they'll be able to get it. So anywho, I'm a recruiting expert, trainer, and success coach. I love to train. I've probably got about 10 years under my belt with staffing and recruiting, but the most fun ever is training. I get something in me just does something when I do training or seminars or webinars. I just enjoy it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. As far as my journey. So I started my recruiting and sourcing journey in about 2006. I was a single mom. I did not finish college. And I didn't want to work at McDonald's. So a lot of times everyone would just try to push me, well, you didn't finish college, so you got to go into retail. Or you didn't finish college, so you may want to go into maybe logistics. They may accept you in logistics and warehousing. And I thought, no, you know what? No, I'm a single mom. I don't really have the time to, right at that moment, to go back, but I have the time to learn some skill sets. I have the time to go online and get some training under my belt. I have the time to do some things virtually, while I still have my son with me. And so that's what I did. And as I did that, I noticed that I had this knack for matching really awesome people with great opportunities. And I quickly began consulting with a lot of telecommunications and technology-driven companies. And after a couple of years, I was getting requests from individuals saying, hey, can you teach me how to do things the Mo way? Hey, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Just place yourself on mute and we're going to keep it going. Thank you so much for joining. And so yeah, I'm just talking a little bit about me. And so that was it. I understood that even though I had this really great knack of recruiting and staffing, the most important thing that I loved beyond anything else was training individuals how to do it like the best way possible. And of course, I'm saying my way is the best way possible, but there's plenty of other ways, but I'm a little biased to my own, okay? All right, so that's enough about me. So what are we here for? You guys are here because something in my post grabbed your attention. Something in my post had that spidey sense come off and say, ooh, I think this might be something I'm supposed to do, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what is a recruiter, why staffing and recruiting, what are some platforms that we use, what is sourcing, some sourcing techniques, and then earning potential. How much money could you really, really earn doing this from a small business perspective? Now, I'm not telling you to go out and create a Robert Half, right? I'm not gonna, that's kind of like, ooh, that's pretty big. I'm not telling you to go and create an Apple One. I'm not telling you to go and create a huge billion-dollar company immediately. But what I'm saying is it is very feasible for you at your level, wherever you are, to start a staffing agency. Again, I am someone who helped run a staffing agency with no college experience, a lot of transferable skills, but not college educated to the point where, you know, you would deem me quote unquote qualified, right? And made millions of dollars for these companies. So what does that say? If I can do it as a single mom, so can you, okay? So moving on down, I just talked about transferable skills, right? And does anyone here know, like, truly the definition of transferable skills? Can you guys give me some examples? I'm that type of trainer, guys. I like to kind of engage my audience. So if you can think of some transferable skills that you have right now, I would love to know them. I'll give you a hint: attention to detail, okay? So what kind of transferable skills do you have? So and think about transfer. So you can transfer this type of skill from one industry to the next, to the next, to the next. That's what transferable skills really are. It's not dedicated just to one industry or one job title, okay? All right, so we have an answer from, yeah, Olivia. Okay, awesome, Olivia. Great communication skills. That is so necessary. Oh my goodness, that is so necessary in the staffing and recruiting arena. You have to have good communication skills. And that was a great segue to my next transferable skill, which is great communicator, attention to detail. You have to know the resumes. You have to know what you're talking about and be able to pay attention to the body language of the candidate, even over the phone. You have to pay attention to the body language of the hiring manager to see, hey, can I really push the envelope and maybe get them to give my candidate a couple more dollars? You know, is it really a big budget constraint, or are they just kind of trying to, you know, lowball me here? Okay, so time management, very good, April. That's really good. That's like, it's essential. I have a course by myself on time management that I love to share with this program. So anyways, Olivia said both verbal and written. Yeah, both verbal and written. You have to know what in the world you're talking about, okay? All right, so then you have researcher. So researching, that goes into the recruiting piece of it, where you recruit and you source, or you just kind of understand trends, and you know how to look up competitive intelligence against the prospects that you're looking for. And all of these, all of this jargon, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll go over, not in this particular course, but if you decide to take the full course, all of this, you get a glossary, you get everything so that you know the lingo, okay? All right, so researcher. Then what else do you have? You have strong desire to help. This was me. This was where I started. I didn't start as a great communicator. I didn't start as a great researcher. I didn't start having attention to detail. I started having a strong desire to help people. That's truly it. I kid you not. Anyone who knew me 10 years ago could say, yeah, that's where she started. I always would say, I just really want to help empower people financially. Like, I don't want to be like a money guru person. I just want to help them attain money or success in whatever their level of success is. So for someone who's a janitor, their level of success may be a maintenance technician because it's more money, and it's a different title maybe. You know, whatever your level of success is, has always been my desire to help people attain that. And that's what staffing and recruiting and the staffing and recruiting industry has done for me as well. So positive thinker, you're going to get a lot of no's. Candidates are going to say, no, thank you. I don't want this position. Hiring managers are going to definitely give you no, right? Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead and put it on mute. Thank you so much. Okay, and so when you have all of these individuals, right? You have all of these different types of people coming at you, and they're giving you I don't really like your candidates, and I don't really like this. You have to stay optimistic and say, okay, well, he'll like the next one, you know? And that's where the attention to detail comes in, because you get to learn your person. You learn your candidate, you learn your hiring manager, whoever you need to learn, you learn them, okay? That's what a positive thinker does. An effective writer. I can't tell you how many times just an email alone could get you into some hot water. So you have to make sure you say your sentences clearly and effectively, concise, that people comprehend what you're saying. You don't want to just be writing really fast and not really paying attention to what you're saying, or not being able to put give your point to whoever you're speaking to. So correspondence, whether it's email, newsletter, LinkedIn, whatever you're doing, blogging, writing is so good, to kind of really brush yourself up on as far as transferable skills to be a recruiter as well as a staffing agency owner, okay? So here's my most important skills, and this is where I come in. Again, I was a single mom, right? No college education. I was actually, at the time, to be very transparent, I was in an abusive relationship, okay? So all of these different things against me. And I still found ways to train, to get training, right? I found ways to sacrifice and purchase training. I found ways to learn how to excel in my work ethic, right? To outwork myself. I never really looked at other people. I just always wanted to outwork myself. And so that in itself, those two skill sets to me are the most important when you want to get into the recruiting and staffing industry, okay? All right, so I hope you guys have that down, right? Okay, so effective communication. We talked a little bit about effective communication, but as it relates to a recruiter, it's so important. I'm just kind of laying the foundation, guys, so you really know like what you're getting into, because you may see this page alone and say, you know what? This might not be for me. But communication. When you don't communicate in this industry, people start making stuff up. Like they just start thinking, oh, she's not responding to me because the hiring manager hates me. But in reality, the hiring manager hasn't responded to her. And so she just hasn't responded to you, which is absolutely wrong. You have to communicate, okay? In every situation, okay? Whether you're talking to the hiring manager or you're speaking with the candidate, you have two customers as a staffing agency owner. You have two customers at all time. You have the candidate who wants the job, and you have the hiring manager that needs to fulfill this requisition, this job, okay? So communication is key, all right? Don't deliver on commitments that you can't follow through, right? That's a part of effective communication. If you can't do something, just remember to say, you know what, I'm probably gonna have to get back to you on that, versus just saying things that you're gonna do and you're not able to do. We all fall short in this area. Trust me, when you live a busy life and you wear many hats, I totally get this. But push forward to not make that commitment, right? Using informal and formal channels for communication. So in this business, you're going to use emails, you're going to use newsletters, you're going to use networking events, you're going to use digital marketing, you're going to use social media, you're going to use, going one-on-one to coffee, even if the person is not a good fit for you, because that's where referrals come in. It's so many things that you're going to do in order for you to be successful in this business. Now, sometimes you can do this very digitally. I know for a fact it's very, very feasible. So don't get nervous when I say coffee for those introverts. Because sometimes people look at that and say, I don't want to go meet anybody. There is a way for introverts to also succeed in the staffing and recruiting agency arena, okay? All right, so celebrate wins and tell success stories. That's effective communication if I ever saw one. Let me tell you something that I go by constantly is success builds belief. What does that mean? That means that you want to work with winners. So does everybody else. So make sure you are making everyone aware of your wins. If you want to let them know about your losses, that's good. But as long as your wins trump your losses, we're in a good place, right? And people want to be around winners. I know I do. So just make sure you communicate your wins, no matter how small. No matter how small. In this industry, everything's a win. Oh, I got a candidate to call me back after calling them for 3 months straight. Yes, I got a win. I'm not going to say that that's typical, but I'm just giving you an extreme example, okay? All right, emails versus phone calls. So a recruiter or a staffing agency owner, if you're doing the business development piece, and I don't want to jump ahead, but all of these are just foundational principles and just attributes that you need to have in order to be successful, okay? I'm a big fan of tradition mixed with new school. So old school basically mixed with new school. Old school is smile and dial, right? New school is digital, digital, digital. I'm more of touch, 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 email. So that's call, 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 and then email. Because I want to talk to you. I feel like if you speak with me, no matter if you give me 30 seconds or 20 seconds, I'm going to be able to at least get you to schedule a sit down with me so that we can chat about what your current pains are and how I can help you solve them. Okay. Again, I'm jumping ahead, but so anywho, then there's, as far as recruiting is concerned, we talked a little bit about just recruiting in general, but we really didn't necessarily go into the different types. So self-employed recruiters are known sometimes as like freelance or contract or work from home, virtual recruiters. You may hear that terminology. And sometimes those individuals are just like temp. They go from contract to contract or from company to company, working various orders. Who knows? So then there's the other piece of recruiting where you're doing business development on your own. You're self-employed recruiting. You're getting your own work orders. You're getting your own requisitions. You're getting your own agency agreements. There's so many different ways that you can succeed in this industry. Honestly, it just depends on you. If you're someone who says, I don't want to touch business development, there is a way that you don't have to touch business development. If you say, I just want to recruit, I like to source and recruit, I still want to own my agency, but I want to just do the recruiting piece of it and I don't want to touch X, Y, or Z. There's so many ways that we can make that happen. And that is the wonderful thing about being self-employed, okay? All right, so nothing beats a failure but a try. That's my mantra. If you at least try something, you don't know which one you like. Right? You don't know if you want to be a corporate recruiter, which is a full-time W-2 recruiter, right, for a corporation or a business, and you don't own it yourself. And that's what I was for many years. And then I was also a staffing agency recruiter, right? And so they're very different and they can be both very stressful. But again, that's the recruiting piece of it. Business development comes in when you say to yourself, I want to own my own. Okay, I want to own my own. And then if you say to yourself, I want to own my own, you can still own your own without stressing the business development for you. Okay, so I give you strategies on how to do that as well. So let's talk about the recruiting industries that are currently booming. So IT and technical field, that's kind of where I lived, in the IT, technical telecommunications field, which had over 111,000 jobs last year. Healthcare alone, look at that number. I don't know if any one of you are interested in any of these so far, but healthcare alone had 1 million jobs, okay? Over 1 million jobs last year. Professional services, over 1.2 million jobs. And then what else? 1 million logistics and light industrial positions. What does that say to you? And I really want to know, what does that say to you? Of course, you know, I'm an interactive type of trainer. So yeah, what does that say to you? I missed that comment, April, being a hunter. Yeah. So what does that say to you guys? With all of these jobs that I'm kind of running off and telling you about, logistics, professional services, healthcare, IT and tech, all of these jobs, right? What does that say to you? Does it say anything to anyone? I'm going to give you some time, right? Money on the table. Yes. Oh, April, I like the way you think. Money on the table, girl. Yes. Olivia says there's a lot of opportunity. Yes. Now you're getting it. You're paying attention to detail. That's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. It is about the opportunities. There will always be jobs. There will always be a need for people. Okay? Always, no matter what they say about the AI industry and which is artificial intelligence, no matter what they say about technology and all this taking over, listen, you still got to have people to run the stuff, okay? Healthcare, you can't have a robot fix on a person, okay? Technically you probably could, but what I'm saying is, as far as the emotional intelligence that comes from a human being, there will always be a need for that in businesses. So there will always be open positions. There will always be needs, right? There will always be some corporate recruiter that's slammed with over 100 requisitions and can't do it by his or herself, okay? All right, so that's money on the table. Good job, ladies. Okay, so I got those stats from the U.S. Department of Labor, so just had to throw that in there. So anyway, staffing trends. So we talked about over 3.5 million jobs, guys. That's a lot of jobs. It's a lot of jobs. Those jobs equal to about $153 billion, okay? That's $153 billion industry if we staffed all those jobs. But what if we just staffed 1%? Just 1%. That's 1.5 million. $1.5 million that you could potentially tap into. The way to do it is to create a specialized expertise, a niche, okay? Some people say niche, whatever you want to say, however you want to call it. Create a specialized expertise and do it well, okay? All right? If you don't niche it, you won't. Not starting off, I don't believe that you can be as successful as you could be if you were to niche it. My niche is IT and telecom, period. I get resumes till this day. I left my job with Delta years ago. I still do contracting with them. I still place individuals and send individuals for interviews there. You know, I still have those connections. So at the end of the day, once you get known for something, people will always come to you for that thing. And don't you want to come to someone who specializes in something versus someone who is a jack of all trades? You can't compete as a small boutique firm. Typically, I'm going to say typically, it's hard to compete with the big boys. Why? Because the big boys will charge a very low margin, a very low markup, because they can afford to. They're big boys. It's very hard to compare to those competitive prices, to those small pricing, right? And when you have a more niche company specialization, people are willing to pay the money that they're supposed to pay in telecommunications, especially if you can narrow it down some. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick. Okay. Oh, the proof is in the pudding. I forgot about this one. So this here, I always say the proof is in the pudding, okay? This is a recommendation from someone who I worked with telecommunications and with Windstream and AT&T and Sprint and Verizon. There was this big, humongous project nationwide, and I was the lead on this one. And I was able to just kind of help out and bring talent to them that they didn't even know existed because of my sourcing techniques, my recruiting techniques, right? And so this is just a little excerpt. I always say the proof is in the pudding. And that was from Bo Slauson. He's amazing. And then Chuck Tone, I love him so much. So this is when I was working in an RPO staff augmentation type of program, and it was staffing and recruiting. And what I helped them do is when they connected with Windstream, they had no candidates whatsoever. And we went from $0 of Windstream spend to $8 million in less than a year at a 40% margin. And see, this is an email that he actually BCC'd me on that he was sending out to an individual that he wanted me to connect with because he wanted me to do the same thing for their company. So anyways, what I'm saying is the proof is in the pudding. What you excel in, that's what you have to focus in as far as your niche. Whatever ends up coming easy, because before telecommunications and IT, I did administrative assistance as far as recruiting. I did recruit for property management. I did recruit for, logistics. I did a couple of different things. And I'm going to say, I got a little success from it, just a little bit, but nothing like telecommunications and nothing like information technology. Nothing like technology at all, okay? Nothing like it. The type of success and the money that I helped companies make within this industry was just absolutely amazing. And so what I'm saying is you'll figure out what your niche is because it'll be something you really like or something that you're really, really good at. It's one or the other, okay? I'm kind of jumping ahead into a whole nother course. That's niching, which is a whole course because you really have to know how to niche, right? So this is all of these are my secrets right here. I mean, this is how I do it. The 5 top recruiting platforms for me: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. I literally was utilizing YouTube way before like anyone, I feel like, in the industry was really utilizing. I was even doing presentations and speaking on it. Like, you guys are missing out on people on YouTube because they're showing you their expertise, and that's how we can get them. That's how we can recruit them. So you can recruit on YouTube. You can recruit on LinkedIn. You can recruit on Instagram. You can recruit on Facebook and Twitter. Don't just limit yourself to job boards. Don't just limit yourself to spreading the word and waiting for someone to come back and say, hey, I want a job. You have to dig. In this day and age, it's such a competitive market both ways. So you have to really dig. And so these are the top recruiting platforms that I show you in the full course how to use to the best of your ability. I'm actually going to show you something now dealing with Boolean search strings so you can see for yourself. And speaking of, so this is sourcing techniques. Okay, so this is a part of the course as well. So raise your hand or kind of give me a me if you're familiar with Boolean search strings, because a lot of people aren't. And yeah, I'd love to know if you know about it. So Boolean search strings. So basically it's when you combine different words with operators like and, not, or, and you do various quotations and different types of symbols in order for you to get great results. So in this particular example, I kind of share with you a little, maybe like a job description for a Java professional or who needs to have certain types of skill set, right? And so with these different types of skill sets, sometimes you get confused. You're like, what is SQL, SQL? What does that mean? Or what does this acronym mean? You can use websites like Acronym Finder. You can just Google it. You don't even have to use Wikipedia, but you can Google some of these different things and figure out exactly what it means, because you may not be familiar with it, but if you Google it and find out what it stands for, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to dig even more so into the search for that particular type of person, if that makes sense, right? Okay, so let's see, who says me? Me. Okay, good, three me's, I love it. Olivia, April, and Latoya, go girls, girl power. Okay, all right, so what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna jump out of this, and I'm gonna jump out. Let me figure out how to jump out first. There we go. So I'm jumping out. I'm going to jump out real quick. I'm going to go into, for those who don't know Boolean search string, right? So right now, this is just a very simple, something I put together. And look how many results I got back. So I want someone with Java in their background. This is some type of developer who has Ajax application experience, who is experienced with SQL, okay, who knows some WebSphere. This is all IT stuff, okay? So this is what the hiring manager gave me, supposedly, right? And so I put this up here, and that's my Boolean search string. I put and there because you always have to make sure you don't have to put and number 1 anymore, but I'm just being kind of extra right now. And as a matter of fact, what I teach you in this course, the full course, you don't even have to do this manually anymore. There's so many automated tools and extensions that I show you how to use that help you not even, and you see all these extensions up here that show you that you don't even have to do this the long way, okay? But sometimes, every now and again, I may do it the long way. But here's what I want to teach you about Boolean search strings. It knows the internet. It knows how to speak to the internet. So again, this is just very simple, putting words together. But look, it gives you some people that have this background, but it's still a little, convoluted, right? It's kind of like all over the place. So we want to clean it up a little bit. One thing we want to put in here is even the word resume, because that's what we're looking for ultimately, right? We're looking for what? Resumes, and we're looking for profiles, right? Okay, so that's what we're truly looking for. I always capitalize the or, or the and. Any modifier you want to capitalize it. You don't have to use and, so I'll take that out so you guys don't get confused. Because it automatically now, Google automatically, if you just put 2 words together, it automatically says and. And that's why I put these parentheses in here to separate this string from this string, okay? So this is a separate string and that's a separate string. And see, and then this little piece right here, that's an invisible and. You don't see it, but that's what it's saying, okay? It's saying Java, SQL, Ajax, and parentheses, we're looking for a separate thing here, resume or profile. And we're looking for a separate thing here, WebSphere, okay? All right, and let's go a little deeper. And well, first let me show you what comes up when I do that. So what comes up there, there's some resumes that come up, but it's still looking kind of like, it's not as clean as I want it to be. I wonder what is the problem, right? What's the problem here? What's the problem? Anybody can tell me what the problem is? There goes one resume that I can see, right, that I can look up. And that's the thing, a lot of these passive, really sharp candidates, they're not going to be on Monster. They're not going to be on Career Builder, which are ATS, which are, job board systems. They may not be in your ATS, which is an applicant tracking system. They may be out here in this land of the internet waiting for someone like you to find them, okay? So I'm going to do negative job. What does that mean? Does anyone know what that means? For those who know Boolean search strings, what does negative job mean? Okay, all right, so I'll help you guys out. It means you don't want to see the word job in it. You don't want to see the word job, okay? So voila, okay, I'm liking this. It went all the way down from like over 700,000 results to 280,000 results. And these are resumes now. Yes, now I'm getting into the resumes. This guy has migration analysis experience. This guy has, he has like almost everything that we're looking for, right? This person, okay, these are profiles that I can click into. So again, here goes another resume at Clarkson University. Then it has some other resumes here that have that same thing. Even in images, we can find different individuals who may match this background. And this is such a simple, I mean, when I tell you this is one of the most simple Boolean search strings that you can really put together, this is nothing fancy whatsoever. And I've done some fancy ones. But this one is already showing us some results, right? And so what you would do is you would look at each and every one of them and see who has telephone information, reach out to them. And if you can't find them there, you go on the internet, you go on LinkedIn, and you put their name up, and you put maybe Craig Allen WebSphere and see what pops up on LinkedIn. So that's a little bit about just a small, short little glimpse of helping you understand the sourcing and how important that can be for a recruiting agency. But I go into so much depth. This is a different type of training that I'm doing now. This is kind of like an all-in-one on why you should start your own staffing agency, okay? So don't think I typically go this fast, okay? All right, so any questions from that real quick before we move on, okay? Everyone good? All right, awesome. All right, so then there's LinkedIn sourcing. There's certain techniques that you can use, and there's certain extensions that you can use to dig through LinkedIn. Even if you don't have a premium service, there's ways you can look behind the veil on LinkedIn. There's ways you can Facebook source. Now, I know Facebook has gone through a lot of privacy issues and all kind of craziness over there, but there's still a way to dig in the little secrets that you never really hear about in order to find candidates that match your requisition or match your background or whatever you're looking for. Okay, all right, so those are sourcing techniques. No questions? Oh cool, you guys smart group, y'all are moving, shaking. Okay, so real quick, this is a small business analysis. I got this from Bullhorn, and this is a small analysis, this whole chart right here on small boutique firms that specialize in like a niche of some sort, and how their compensation is broken down, like how much they're making, how much people are getting. And I want you to keep in mind when you see these numbers, ladies and gentlemen, that these numbers are not gross revenue. These numbers are salary. And I'm going to show you again how to do that, because you pay yourself, but you don't pay yourself everything the house gets. You just pay yourself a percentage. the house should get its own salary, if that makes sense. The house should get its own revenue so that it can stand. Okay. So anyway, so earning potential. So if you say to yourself, you know what, Monique, after taking this course and hearing about what you're talking about here, I'm very interested, but I'm more interested in a corporate environment. Then you're looking at an earning potential of about 50 to 90K. When I was in the corporate environment, that was exactly my salary range. The highest I made was about 95,000 a year in a corporate environment. But again, I did specialized recruiting. I did sourcing and recruiting within telecommunications. So you have to, factor in the industry. Recruiters in an agency environment. An agency is a staffing agency, an actual staffing agency. A lot of times their base pay is low. It's about 45 to 55K, but their bonuses and commission can accumulate all the way to $200,000 a year. I put 90 to 120 as like a low range, but honestly, in an agency environment, depending on what you're recruiting for, the sky is the limit, okay? All right, so then goes into self-employed recruiters with their own staffing agency, and that's when we start looking at this compensation by industry chart here. So real quick, automotive, as you can see here, if you specialize in that industry and you are the owner or the partner or whatever of the actual industry, that's what kind of like a roundabout what you're looking at and what you can afford to pay your recruiter. And this is in-house money that you're able to to give your staff, right? Now, notice that this person doesn't have an account manager. So this is surveys done by individuals who didn't necessarily need to have an account manager or salesperson. Maybe because in the automotive industry, maybe it's pretty easy. You don't need to sell it because a lot of people don't have a specialty in just automotive staffing. Come on now, you guys got to think about what the need is and think about what your passion is, and then create it from there, okay? Business services. Business services range from, goodness, almost everything in the professional kind of field. So business services, consulting, all different things like that. So or SMEs, like subject matter experts, different types of positions like that. The owners are making about $185,000 a year. Again, this is not gross, guys. This is just what you're able to pay yourself, and what you can pay your recruiter and what you can pay your salesperson. But what if you decide today, you know what? I want to be my own salesperson. I want to use the techniques that Monique has, and I want to be the salesperson and the owner, and I'm going to take that 88,000 and bring it over here to my 185,000, and that would bump you up some more, and you can still pay your recruiter, or you can pay your recruiter more. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, there is money to be made if you niche it. You got to get it in a niche. You got to be specializing in something. Don't try to be a jack of all trades if you want to start your own staffing agency, or even if you want to start your own little small solopreneur type of thing. You can be, that's how I started. I had my own staffing agency name, but it was just me before I was able to hire anybody else. It was literally just me. And being just me by myself, I had all the money that came into me, but I also had to put that money back out. I had to put that money back into my technology, my software, my ATS. It was all types of things, but I could do it by myself. And I was very particular on the orders that I would take because it was just me. I didn't have to worry about feeding someone else, right? Okay, so then you see all of these wonderful compensation by industry titles here. Let me ask you guys something while we're here. Does anyone recognize any of these industries that kind of gravitate to them, like that kind of pull to them, that you say to yourself, maybe healthcare, maybe that's something I want to be in. Maybe I want to specialize in government. I'll tell you now that government is a little bit of a headache, but it can definitely pay some bills. But government, I have a girlfriend who has a government staffing agency that I helped out with, and it's twofold. It can be stressful, but at the same time, you're putting people to work at positions that have some really great benefits and making an impact on our environment, our culture, and everything. So tell me, let's chat about it real quick. Is anyone gravitating to any of these industries? PR marketing, pharma, that's a good industry. Medical equipment, biotech, oh my goodness, there's money in that. Any other ones? Come on, guys. I know you guys. Let's see here. Who's saying something? Education. Okay, education. I love it. Education is going to be April's niche. I love that. Olivia says healthcare. Go, Olivia. Get that money from healthcare. There's a lot of money to be made. Hospitality. Yes, 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 yes. I have a lot of really cool connections in hospitality, believe it or not. But I've never had the desire to recruit for that industry. Pharma and technology, Gay2. Yes. Gay2, I really see you in technology, to be honest with you. I so see you in technology and information technology. Yemen said technology. Yes, yes, yes. There's so much money to be made in technology. Yeah. So that's what it is about, is visualizing your success, ladies and gentlemen. Visualizing what it is that you could see yourself doing long term. Now, let's talk about more about the earning potential. Okay, real quick. Temporary rates versus full-time rates. Okay, first and foremost, when you are temping, we're going to first start with temping, staffing, okay? So when you are placing a candidate on an assignment, you are responsible for that candidate. You're the babysitter. You are the person, even though the candidate feels like they're a part of the team, even though the candidate feels like they're working in, you know, let's say it's for Delta, let's say Delta Airlines, and they're working for Delta, but their contract, their temp, they're 100% your employee that works for Delta. And a lot of times contractors don't really understand that, but that's really what it is. So when they're not performing properly, when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, hiring managers don't come to them, they typically come to you. So you have to know how to deal with that, number one. But number two, temporary rates. Bill rates are what you charge your client whenever you place that particular candidate on an assignment, okay? That's the bill rate. The pay rate is what you pay the contractor. It's typically included in the bill rate, okay? So let's say I'm hiring a network engineer for $80,000 a year, and I have to figure out some type of rate that I'm gonna pay them. So I divide 20/80, which is pretty much how many hours you work in an HR, a 5-day a week, you know, work week for a year. So I divide that to get the total hourly wage, which is $38.46. See that right there? And then, so this is my formula. So this is it. Hourly bill rate equals, it's going to be the pay rate. Boom, that right there. Tax burden, we haven't talked about that yet, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And the margin or the markup, which is going to be about 40%. These are all like averages. I'm not like just giving you an average, okay? So the pay rate times markup will be 40%. That's 38.46 times 40%. That's the margin at 15.38. That's like that's your profit, so to speak. Let's say that's your profit, okay? All right, then your pay rate times your tax burden, that's the taxes, that's FICA, that's Social Security. And this is the average, guys. It can go up to 35%, to be honest with you, but I'm giving it 21%. I don't know where you guys live, so I'm giving it 21% as an average. Pay rate times that is about $8, okay? So some people take this 8 out of this right here, so they don't have to charge that extra full 8. You guys understand where I'm going? They take this $8 and take it out of that profit. They don't charge the client that. But you can charge the client that. It's totally up to you, okay? So here's the full scope. So 38.46 plus the tax if you decide to not take it out of your little profit there, plus the profit or margin equals a bill rate of $61.92. That is the typical bill rate, okay? $9.23 is your profit per hour if you pay yourself 60%. So this is what the client is paying every time your candidate works. That's what you're paying that's what you're charging your client every time your candidate works. Every hour, $60 an hour for this network engineer, okay? He's a senior level network engineer, okay? Here's the thing. Why is $9.23 your profit and not $15.38? Anybody know? Anybody? Because you have to pay yourself. You have to pay yourself and you have to pay your business. Some people pay themselves 50%. Some people pay themselves 60%. At the end of the day, you would think that it's coming directly back to you, but it's really, really, really not. If you're focused and you understand business planning and you do it the right way, you will totally not touch that 40% or that 50% that you pay your in-house, your company, okay? That equals to about, again, $369 a week. This is not gross, guys. This is just your salary. I'm just talking your salary here, okay? That other 40% would make it all gross, okay? But we're not talking about that right now. We're focusing on how much money you can make, okay? $19,000 per year for simply placing a candidate if that candidate works for 40 hours a week until December, from January to December. $19,000 is what you can make in your sleep. Because while he's working or she's working, I'm gonna say she as well, right? While she's working or he's working, we're doing whatever you want to do, and they are making money for you, $369 a week. So then this makes you think about your why. What's your why? What's your number? Everybody has a number. What's the number that you say, you know what, with this staffing, I want to work my corporate. That's what I did. I want to work corporate for a little while, do a couple little direct placements here and there, and then I'm going to jump out and do my own thing. Or you may say, you know, I'm going to just jump out and do my own thing, right? And I'm going to take this course, understand exactly what I need to do and how to get it and how to start making money immediately from my niche, and then take it from there. Whatever you decide to do, just know that it's not a hard thing to tell somebody to go to work. There's nothing even remotely hard about saying, hey, are you going to work today? Because it's not going to happen. You'll never have to ask. I mean, unless it's just a horrible situation, but you're typically not going to have to ask a candidate, hey, are you going to go to work today? Are you sure you're going to go to work today? Because they have to pay the bills. So they're going to go to work today. They're going to go to work every day. And so this is something that you don't have to worry about. Now, granted, it's temporary, right? So what does that mean? If you could do one placement, you can do many, right? If you can do one placement, you can do many, okay? So that's the temporary rate. Any questions? Looking here for questions. Any questions? Okay, good. Okay. All right, if you do have questions, don't be afraid. Always ask, okay? So temporary rates versus full-time rates. So again, we go back to that same really cool guy. He's a network engineer or girl, network engineer. We just did a couple of interviews with the hiring manager. The hiring manager loves him or her. And they're saying, you know what, Monique, let's do this thing. I'm like, okay, let's do it. My agency fee for an average, I'm just saying average, I'm going to name it 20%. You can go up to 30%, 40%, however crazy rate you want to go. But I'm just saying the average is about 20%. You can go as low as you want to as well. You can go 10%. You can go 20%. 15%. But anyway, let's just do average. So the average agency fee, that's the fee that the agency, which is you, would be paid from the client. The salary offer is $80,000. You divide that by 20% or times it by 20%, $16,000 is what you're going to receive. $16,000 for just finding the right candidate. Now remember, this is not all your money. I'm going to stress that to you guys, especially when we go into our class. If you guys end up coming to class, you have to pay yourself. You cannot look at that money and think, oh my God, it's all me and I'll pay my money back. No. Don't even look at that number as a number that's really yours. This is your real number. You can pay yourself between 50 to 60%. I always like to say 60%, right? Because you work hard. So that's $9,000. The other $6,400 goes to what? Taxes, business expenses, part-time employees, right? And that's just one. This is just one person. This is just one person. What if you hired at least one hire a month? Just one hire a month, you can make good money. Good money. You can make $115,000 a year. Just one hire. Because again, remember when you're in a special field, you're not always gonna get bulk. You may get those one-offs and two-offs and all that stuff. You may not get this big, large order of individuals. You may literally just get one person, 2 job orders here and there, right? Okay, any questions before we keep going? Does this make sense to everybody? Is everyone grabbing a hold to this? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. The last thing I heard from you guys was pharma and technology. Okay. All right, April. Okay, Olivia, Yemi or Yemi. I don't want to mispronounce your name, but it looks beautiful. All right, cool. All right, so yes, get to yes. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go into it. Let's go into why we're here as far as what we do here, okay? What me and my team does. We show you how to start a staffing and recruiting business from scratch without having an extensive background in it. We show you how to find your niche, right? We show you how to utilize and find sourcing tools and techniques so that you can find candidates quicker, right? We show you even how to brand and monetize. So it's not just recruiting that you're making money from. You start to make money from a lot of different types of things, and it's very feasible. I show you how to build your team. I give you cheat sheets. What do I mean by cheat sheets? Boolean search string sheets, glossaries, candidate scripts, how to do a phone screening, sizzle sheets, candidate forms, sample emails that I've done back and forth to show you how to communicate with an irate hiring manager, like everything that you need in order to succeed, right? Best practices for a staffing agency owner, cost-effective technology to use. That's really important. One of the things that I learned in this industry is no matter if I'm doing the coaching and training or if I'm touching with the staffing industry, I mean, technology is a must. You got to have it. And so I show you how to do a lead generation formula with LinkedIn, okay? In order for you to get individuals to pay attention to whatever it is you want to say, especially if you're not a talker, if you're not a phone person, right? And you need that automated technology thrown in there, and I show you how to do it, okay? And then last but not least, when you're done with the course, you get unlimited help with an assigned account manager. When you do this full course with me, you get an assigned account manager at the end. That basically means anytime you want to send an email, you're going to get a response with help. If you have a question, you're going to get a response with help. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, we take your money, you go through the program, and hey, that's it. You never have to hear from me again. No, I want to develop this relationship because eventually my goal, my thought process is to have this huge conglomerate of staffing agencies from different types of arenas. And we make we're a powerhouse, right? We make conferences, we're doing big things. That's my overall goal, especially with helping individuals start their own staffing agency, okay? So that is the training takeaway for the full How to Launch a Staffing Agency course. Now, here's the pricing part. This is the part that you guys absolutely love. So this is $997 or 3 easy payments of $345 a month, and it's only 3 months. So you're done with it really quickly, really easily. I do have a credit program available if your credit kind of, if you can qualify for it. There's a credit program where you don't have to pay anything up front. And then the other bonus is if you are able to sign up before May 15th, class starts May 18th, okay? So if you can sign up by May 15th, guys, I'll take off $345 just for this class. So you would literally have to email me and say, hey, Monique, I'm interested. And I'll send you a special link because the link that normal people would go to, it'll have the number 997, okay? So that's the $345 off, or you get $100 off for 3 months. So that's $245 a month if you sign up by May 15th. And again, class starts May 18th. Either program that you end up going into, there is a credit program available, but you would have to tell me first that you want to be a part of the credit program before we move on. So without further delay, that is the end. I presented to you guys why you should start your staffing agency. The program is about almost 12 weeks long. I want to say it's 10 weeks long. The class is about 10 weeks long, and you will get your guaranteed job orders. So I guarantee you, you will have job orders in this class. So what does that look like? That looks like you being serious about taking notes, about understanding the process and moving along with the class so that you really are ready when it's job order time, right? I mean, that's if you're serious. I know people who purchase classes all the time and they just purchase them and they never really go forward with them. But again, this is a class that is about business, and that's what I am. I'm about business and I work in excellence. And so that is what I would desire for you guys to do as well. And so again, this is the pricing. These are great prices. I want you guys to search the internet, scour the internet, go to different places and see. Trust me, my prices are pretty much bar none at this point in the game with what I've been able to do with other companies and help other staffing companies go to the next level. I believe that this is a great price for any individual who has no experience to come in and really hit the ground running. So that's the price. Sign up by May 15th. If you're interested, definitely email me or hit me up on this chat box here, or you can just respond to one of those emails that you were sent out, and we can get the ball rolling. We can sign you up and get you registered for this $345 off for the full payment of it. Or if you want to, again, do the 3 easy payments of $245, if you sign up by May 15th, it's all yours. Okay, guys? I hope that this class showed you how it's easy to do and you can do it, and why you should start your own staffing agency today. All right, any questions? What time is it? Oh yeah, I'm right on time. Woohoo! All right, I love it. So, all right, it's 6:58. So I got off right at the end here where I wanted to stop at 7. So yay, I did. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you have any further questions, my information, you got my information. You just email me and you let me know, okay? What days of the week is the class? The class is self-paced, Yami. So you pretty much go, it's per week. You get about 4 or 5 modules per week, Yami. And then you kind of go with the pace. It's self-paced, okay? So yeah, that's how you do it. There is a Facebook group that we'll have for this particular, this course, this class, and you'll be able to kind of interact with others and talk with me and talk to my team and all that good stuff. But for now, it's all self-paced. If you have questions in the interim, you can always email me. You can always respond. There's a community feel with this program, so you'll be able to chat with whomever you need to. Olivia says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Olivia. Latoya, you're welcome. April, you're welcome. I hope that this was helpful to you guys, and I will see you guys on the other side. You all have a blessed and wonderful day, okay? All right, bye.